she failed. Just once. But for everyone around her, and for herself, it felt like the end. There was no backup plan, no savings tucked away for a rainy day. Just this heavy, suffocating feeling of regret, and a whole lot of silence. For the longest time, she truly believed that failure was her new identity. It wasn't for lack of trying. She had put in the effort before, poured her heart into it, and hoped for the best. But nothing seemed to work out. The bills didn't care about her efforts. They just kept piling up. Her confidence, once a steady flame, was now just a wisp of smoke. Slowly, almost without realizing it, she stopped believing in herself. At that point, success wasn't even on the radar. She wasn't dreaming of a big comeback or a triumphant return. She just desperately wanted things to stop getting worse. Her situation was one many of us can understand. She felt trapped by her past decisions, haunted by a highlight reel of her own mistakes. It felt too late to start over, too many wrong turns to ever find the right path again. That's the story she told herself, day in and day out. Every morning was a repeat of the last wake-up worry, work through the day with a knot in her stomach, go to bed exhausted. It was a draining, joyless cycle. Then one quiet night, something shifted. It wasn't a lightning bolt or a grand epiphany. It was small, almost insignificant. While scrolling online, she started noticing stories. Not the usual ones about celebrities or business tycoons. These were stories about normal people, people who had failed, sometimes spectacularly, people who were starting again from absolute zero. At first, she was skeptical. It all sounded a bit too simple, a little too good to be true. Another get-rich-quick fantasy. But the stories stuck with her. A seed of curiosity was planted. So she started to watch, and listen, and learn, quietly, in the background, without making any grand announcements. No big, risky investments. No telling friends and family that this time it's different. She just took small, manageable steps. She began using simple online tools to help her organize her thoughts and her time. She looked for ways to save a few minutes here and there, letting technology handle the repetitive, heavy lifting so she could focus her limited energy on what mattered. Honestly, most days felt pointless. The progress was so slow, it was almost invisible. It felt like trying to fill an ocean with a teaspoon. There were so many moments when she came close to quitting again, telling herself it was hopeless. The old voices of doubt were loud, but this time something was different inside her. She wasn't rushing. She wasn't chasing shortcuts or looking for a magic bullet. She just focused on one thing. Don't stop. Just keep going. One more email. One more post. One more small task. And then, one day, something happened. It wasn't a lottery win or a viral moment. It was a small, almost tiny result. A positive comment. A small sale. A piece of good feedback. It wasn't life-changing in the grand scheme of things, but it was real, and it was enough. Enough to prove that she wasn't completely wrong this time. That single moment, that tiny little win, changed everything. It shifted how she saw herself. Failure was no longer this permanent stain on her record. It was just a data point, a lesson, just one part of a much longer process. With this newfound perspective, she started to build momentum. She looked at what worked that one small thing and she did it again. She looked at what didn't work and she let it go without judgment. She just stayed consistent. Slowly, painstakingly, things started to add up. Those tiny wins started to stack on top of each other. Her confidence grew, not with a sudden burst, but with a quiet, steady strength. The fear that had paralyzed her for so long began to recede. It was still there, but it was no longer in the driver's seat. Her life didn't transform overnight into some perfect fairy tale. It was a gradual, messy, and very human process. But for the first time in a long time, it was moving forward. Today, her life looks completely different. It's not perfect, it's not effortless, but it is calm, it is stable, and it is filled with hope. She no longer defines herself by that one failure. She defines herself by her persistence, by the decision to get back up day after day. There were no shortcuts. There was no magic moment that fixed everything. There was just patience, consistency, and the simple, powerful decision not to quit again. Her story is a reminder that our past doesn't have to be a life sentence. It shows that if she could start over after hitting rock bottom, then truly anyone can. It's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to take that next small step, even when you're afraid. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more.